Sure.
Okay, so you after last year with the disappointing end, and then coming into this year, how do you start with a fresh start?
Yeah, I think obviously, disappointing to not reach our ultimate goal. Thought we had a great team and fell short to the team that won it. So I think, coming into this year, we got a lot of returning guys, and I think the expectation remains the same, is that we want to win a championship here, and feel like we have the team to do it, and we have the pieces, and, it's just a 72 game regular season audition for the playoffs, and get ready to go for that.
And as a captain, returning captain, does having so many returning guys, does that make it that much easier to lead this team?
I think so. I think especially with the returning core, the veteran group that we have, it makes my job a lot easier. Like I said, we have a ton of returning guys, so looking for them to, step in and help out any way they can. And obviously, having TJ and Keaton, and the list goes on and on of guys that are returning, and they're veteran players in this league that are able to speak up in the locker room. So that helps tremendously.
And Keaton's always one guy that's always brought up during talk of leadership and things like that. And he got 42 games last year, but with him coming back, how big of a difference does that make in your guys' locker room?
Yeah, I think it's huge. It's obviously we want to see Midzy up and playing in the NHL, but we're extremely fortunate to have him, and while he's here, and he's a huge piece to our team, and it adds an element of toughness and steadiness on the back end, and the ability to speak up in the room, like I said, keeps things light. So he's a huge component for our team. We're super fortunate to have him.
And then you had one of the power play goals tonight, but you guys were on an 0 for 14 slump. How has the team approached that and kind of mentally and break those type of slumps?
Yeah, I mean, the first game, I think what did we go 3 for 3 or something like that?
3 for 4,
3 for 4, and so I think that you go through peaks and valleys throughout the year on special teams, and we'd rather have it go through the slump earlier than the year than opposed to later in the year in the playoffs. So I think just the key is not to get frustrated. We know we have the components. Everyone's still trying to figure each other out a little bit and gel, and tonight was a good result. We'll take it.
And I don't know if you were aware of during the preseason game against Vegas that you and your brother were a big hot topic on TV.
I didn't realize that, no.
Because you guys were obviously playing each other, and it's not often that you do, but they were always talking about like you and your dad and how you got named after your dad and everything. What's it like playing your brother the occasional times that you get to play him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's unbelievable, the fact that we're both, playing professional hockey at any level, and it's always a blast to get to play them. My parents usually come out for the game, so it's great to see them. And growing up as kids, we were always playing against each other, and never thought that one day we'd be playing against each other in the NHL and the American League. So super special, and obviously very proud of him and his career and how hard he's fought.
And he got to do the Stanley Cup last year, right?
Yep.
Did you go out and celebrate with him?
I did. I went to the parade with him, and then he had his day with the cup, went back down with my family and obviously all of our family. So it was a really special day, and being born in Fort Lauderdale, my parents still live there. Super cool thing to be able to share with everybody and experience. So obviously very, very happy for him, and that he got to experience all that stuff.
And then but you're still heavily involved in the organization, and the winning culture is still there. How does that just leak down from Denver down to here?
Yeah, well, I think the expectation is that we want to win, right? So it's a winning culture right from day one in training camp, and guys have an expectation of how they want to play and how the system should look, and obviously if it's successful up there, with the right personnel and the pieces that we have here, it should be successful here. So I'm really excited about our team. I think we got like I said, a lot of great pieces. Certainly the culture from up there, trickles down effects, has a trickle down effect to here. So still early in the season, we got a lot of work left to do, but excited at the direction that we're going.
And then you guys kind of had a little bit of a condensed schedule. You're the only team in the Pacific that now has played 6 games. How's that kind of hit on your body and everything?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's it's tough, but also good to get out of the way now when we're still relatively fresh coming from the off season, as opposed to down the road in February and March and April right before we get going for playoffs. So there's 2 ways to look at it. We got a job to do every day we show up at the rink, and making sure the systems and details are dialed in that competes there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Keep up the good work.